trying to do something with the video so she could see me the day she dropped out, and
All
then
right.
couldn't get back on.
Yeah. I've been lucky. I haven't had many issues. I do drop out sometimes with you, and I just get back on, and
Yeah, and I
sometimes
think
I'm
once
stuck in a pose. I think
I think once for waiting forever, yeah. I think once I've admitted you, then I don't have to admit you again, which makes it easier for you to get back
oh
on. So
right, yeah, that
yeah.
does make it better.
All right, I'm gonna put you on mute. I'm gonna put everybody on mute. Hi, Emily. She's waving. All right, we will get started.
Hi, I am here. Sorry, I just put myself on mute.
No, that's okay. On, she's back on mute. Excellent. Okay, so I've already hit the record button, so we can get started. And Linda was asking if the cats have been fed. They don't get fed in the evening, but they are both here. So we'll see if they are as vocal as they were the other day. And if I have to, I will kick Myrtle out of the room. That's what we do when she's too loud. All right, so we're going to start by lying down on our backs. Um, we won't be quite as energetic as last Tuesday because I went to my strength and conditioning class today. And I also have a sore back. So we're going to do a fair amount of back stretching and bending today in the class. So if you all come to lie down on your back, and you can take your knees straight or long on the mat. And just take a nice long deep breath in through the nose and open your mouth and let it all out in a big sigh. And then once you've done that, close down your mouth. We're going to breathe in and out through the nose for the rest of the practice. And let's just start by placing our hands on our belly. And so as you inhale, you're filling your lungs all the way down to the belly and feeling the hands rise and fall as you fill the lungs. And just take 3 or 4 nice long breaths all the way down to the belly. And then bring your right knee into your chest. Take your left leg long. Take your left toes and point them up towards the sky. And then straighten out the right leg and just hold behind the right knee or thigh. Straighten that leg as much as you're able to. Draw your toes in towards your nose and then start to point and flex the foot a few times. Floss the nerves through the back of the leg. And then pull those toes towards your nose and hold them there. Each time as you inhale, try and straighten your knee a little bit more. Push your thigh into your hands. And as you exhale, relax the thigh a little bit and see if you can draw your leg a little closer towards your nose. So as you inhale, you're trying to just get a little bit of muscle activation through that thigh. And as you exhale, fully relax and see if you can get a straighter leg or bring the leg a little closer to you. Or maybe nothing at all happens. By contracting the muscles in the thighs as you inhale, sometimes you get a little bit more flexibility out of them as you relax them and exhale. And on your next breath, go ahead and bend your right knee. Take your right foot to the ground, bring your left knee to your chest, and straighten that right leg along the ground, toes pointed up to the sky. Straighten your left leg, grabbing behind the left knee. And just like the other side, we'll start to point and flex the toes a few times. And then when you're ready, drawing the toes towards your nose. And just like the other side, we'll do the same thing. So as you inhale, think about pushing that thigh into your hands a little bit, getting a little bit of a contraction through the thigh. And then as you exhale, fully relaxing and so you can bring that knee a little closer or straighten the knee a little more. Inhale and exhale. Now on your next breath out, go ahead and bend that knee. Take the left foot to the floor, bend both knees again. Take them roughly hip width apart. And take your arms out wide into a T shape. And then from there, just inhale. Now as you exhale, let your knees fall over to the right. Inhale, bring your knees back up straight. And exhale, go the other way. We'll just do this a couple times on each side, working with your breath. So as you exhale, the knees are falling to one side or the other. And as you're inhaling, the knees are coming up to center. And the next time that your knees are over on the right, just pause there. Stack one knee on top of each other so you find yourself in a twist. And then we're going to start moving that left arm back and forth. So inhale. And as you exhale, bring your left hand to your left shoulder, draw a line across your chest and then down your right arm till your hands are together. And as you inhale, reverse that exact same movement. Draw the line across your arm, your chest, and then open up that left arm. And keep going with your breath. So you're just opening and closing down through the shoulders. Do one more. The next time that both arms are open wide, then bring your knees back up to center. And then straighten out your hips if you need to. Sometimes they get out of alignment. And then as you exhale, bring both knees over to the left, stacking one knee on top of the other. So now you're in your twist going the other way. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring the right hand to the shoulder, draw the line across the chest, down your left arm till both hands are together. And then just like the other side, as you inhale, you reverse that motion, opening up through those shoulders. Keep going with your breath. As you exhale, you're closing down. And as you inhale, you're opening up through the shoulders and the chest. And the next time your arms are open wide, bring those knees back up to center. Again, just straighten out those hips, lift them up and center them down again, and bring those knees into your chest. Once you're there, just rock a few times side to side, give that low back a nice little massage. And then you might, then we'll start to rock and roll from the top of your spine to the base of your spine, back and forth a few times until you come to an easy seated position, cross-legged or otherwise. And you can sit on a pillow or a cushion or a blanket or a block if you want to raise your hips higher than your knees. And then once you're there, we'll just go through our regular shoulder and neck stretches. So we'll interlace the fingers behind the back. And as you inhale, take the arms away from the back. And as you exhale, bring the hands over to the right side of your waist. Draw those shoulders away from the ears. Inhale here. And exhale, drawing the right ear towards the right shoulder. Same side as your hands. Breathe here. And then on your next exhale, rotate your chin down towards your right armpit, your right hands, but draw your earlobes back over your ears. And just find a nice juicy stretch for that neck. And on your next inhale, coming back up to straight, release the hands, take them out wide, and just flip the palms up and down a couple times. And then we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back once more. And this time place the opposite thumb on top. So it's the unnatural way, quite likely. And then inhale, take those arms away from the back. And exhale and bring them over to the left side of your waist. Once they're there, inhale and just sit up straight and tall and draw those shoulders away from the ears. And as you exhale, left ear towards the left shoulder. Breathe here. And then go ahead on your next exhale and rotate that chin down towards your left armpit, left shoulder. And again, maybe draw the earlobes back over the shoulders a bit. It'll just change where you feel the stretch in your neck. And inhale, coming back up, releasing the hands, taking your arms out wide, and just doing that flip flop with the hands once more. And then coming onto your hands and knees to a tabletop position. So remembering to stack those wrists underneath the shoulders, shoulder width apart, and the knees underneath the hips, hip width apart. And when you're ready, we'll go into our cat-cow. So as you inhale, the tailbone curls up, tummy towards the ground, looking up, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, look down towards the belly button, scoop that tailbone under, dome the back, push through your hands and push the shoulder blades apart. Keep going with your breath. We'll do 4 more with your breath. And after your next one, you're going to come to a stop and find a neutral position. So a neutral position is a nice straight spine. Remember, the crown of your head is like an extension of your spine. So you're not drooping your head, but you're not poking your chin out and looking up either. It's just a nice neutral neck. Crown of the head extending out in the same direction as your spine. Draw your belly button up towards your spine. So you're pulling your tummy in and also pulling your pelvic floor muscles up towards your belly button. So it's those muscles that sort of stop you from peeing mid-wee. It's the only way to explain it. And then hold that position, hold those locks with those core muscles, and we're going to reach that right heel back behind you and really stretch it out and reach the left fingers in front of you. Really maintain that neutral position with your back. If you find that you have arched, then take your hand back down to the ground. But if you focus on pulling that belly button up towards the spine, you can hold a nice neutral position. I'm going to stay here for a few breaths. One more breath. Make sure those back toes are pointed to the ground. And then exhale, hand and knee back to the earth. Just take a moment and just notice if your spine is in neutral, if you've lost that, and pull that belly button back up. Engage those pelvic floor muscles, and then shoot that left heel out towards the back, toes to the ground, and right hand out forward. Draw your right shoulder back into its socket while your fingers extend away. Breathe here. And really focus on drawing that belly button up towards the sky, holding a neutral position for your spine. On your exhale, hands and knee to the earth. Keep your hips stacked over your knees now as you walk your hands forward towards the top of your mat. So we can come into our melting heart pose or puppy pose. So the chest and the forehead come down towards the mat as those hips stay stacked over the knees. Open up through the shoulders and the upper back. Breathe here. And on your next inhale, walking the hands back up to your tabletop position. And then taking all the weight into your left hand. As you inhale, take the right hand to the sky. That nice twist. And as you exhale, weave that right arm under your left arm so that you're into this twist, right cheek to the mat. The left hand is in front of your face. Inhale. And as you exhale, push through that left hand, open the left shoulder up to the sky. Really getting a twist through the upper back. And you can either stay here pushing through the left hand to really maintain that twist, or if you prefer, you can take your left hand to the sky, or take a half bind, hand behind the back. Your choice. No matter what position you've chosen, remember to keep breathing. If your hand is behind your back, inhale, take it back up to the sky. Exhale, bring that left hand down back in front of your face. And everyone together, inhale, and take the right hand back up to the sky. And exhale, right hand to the mat. I'll do the same thing on the other side. So the weight goes into the right hand. Inhale, take the left hand up to the sky. Exhale, weave it under. Push through that right hand. Once your left cheek is on the mat, open the right shoulder up towards the sky. And once again, you've got your choice here. You can take your hand to the sky, you can leave it where it is, or you can take the half bind behind your back. Really working on that upper back twist and opening that right shoulder up towards the sky. Your arm is behind your back, or on your next inhale, take it up to the sky. Exhale, bring the right hand back down to the mat in front of the face. And then everyone together, inhale, take the left hand to the sky. And exhale, bring the hand back to the mat. I'm just going to take off my socks. I don't know if the rest of you are wearing socks. That was for warmth. But I like a sticky mat for my downward dog, which is where we're going to head next. So curl your toes under, and we're going to straighten the legs, take the hips up towards the sky, and find a downward dog. And once you're there, just go ahead and let's start to walk it out, allowing one knee to bend at a time, giving the calves a nice good stretch here. And while you're doing that, just take a moment to really spread your fingers nice and wide as they possibly can go. Think about getting nice equal weight through all 10 fingers. Thumbs are counted as fingers when I say 10. Bring those feet to stillness. And then just bend your knees a little bit more than they might already be. And push your chest towards your ankles to really open up through that upper back and shoulders. You should really feel like we did in the melting heart pose. Try and draw your shoulder blades down your back towards your hips. And give a little micro bend, or not a micro bend, but a softening to your elbows so you can really turn your biceps in towards your ears, if that makes any sense whatsoever. We're basically just trying to avoid hyperextending the elbows. Breathe here. On your next exhale, we're going to come to a plank position. You can keep with your knees up or down. Try and get your hips in line with your shoulders, no matter where your plank is. Breathe here. We're going to stay here for 4 or 5 breaths. So draw that belly button up towards the spine, just like we did in tabletop. Trying to get a nice neutral position of the spine. Keep drawing those shoulder blades down your back, away from your ears. And then when you do breathe out the next time, we'll slowly lower to the ground in the order of knees, chest, chin. In that order, belly comes last. Keep the elbows close to the rib cage. And then take the arms down to the side. Push the front of your feet into the mat, the backs of the knees up towards the sky. Inhale, lift the chest and chin off the mat. Let the backs of your hands fly up towards the sky. We'll breathe here for a few breaths. Keep squeezing those shoulder blades together and down the back towards your hips. Just like in tabletop, remember the crown of your head is an extension of your spine, so keep the back of your neck long and avoid poking your chin out. So you're just tucking it down slightly. One more breath here. Exhale, coming down, taking your arms out wide and one cheek to the mat. Turn your thumbs up towards the sky. We're going to do the exact same thing with the arms in a slightly different position. So push the front of the feet into the mat, back of the knees to the sky. Inhale, lift the chest and chin off the mat. Let the thumbs fly up towards the sky. Draw those shoulders away from the ears. And breathe here. Couple more breaths here. On your exhale, arms come down opposite cheek to the mat. And you can take one of those first two positions, or you can do the third position, which is the fingertips just behind the ears. So take your forehead to the mat and you just rest your fingertips on the backs of your ears. As with all the others, push the front of the feet into the mat, backs of the knees to the sky. Inhale, lift the chest and chin off the mat. And if you've got the third position, it's the elbows that are flying up towards the sky. As you still continue to try and draw those shoulders away from the ears. Breathing here. One more breath. Exhale, and coming down and just stack your forehead on top of your hands. Pause there for a moment. You can just wiggle your hips back and forth. We're going to do one more back bending exercise before we go into our cobras. So we did this a couple weeks ago, I think. So we're going to come into our Sphinx pose first. And then once you're there, we're going to take our left elbow and put it at the same parallel to our wrist so that we can bend, and that the left hand comes down close to the right wrist. And once you're there, bend your right leg and you can reach behind you and grab your right foot. And push your right foot into your hand and just draw up on that left elbow. So you should get a nice little arch through your back. And if you push through your hand enough, maybe you get a bit of a stretch in your quad as well, or your hip flexors. So that right knee can start to come off the mat. This is just a half boat. On your next exhale, release that foot. Bring your hand back to the mat and come all the way down, forehead to hands just for a moment. Just rock those hips back and forth a couple times. And then we'll come back up to our Sphinx to start. And this time we're doing the same thing. So we're bringing the right elbow forward and taking the right fingertips over to the level of our left wrist. Bend the left knee, grab that left foot behind, maybe look over the left shoulder. And once you're there, you're going to push that the left foot into the left hand, maybe lifting the left knee off the mat. And you might be feeling this in your back, or you might be feeling it through your quads and your hip flexors. And you might feel it very different on one side than the other. Just remember to breathe. One more breath. And on the exhale, letting the left foot down, coming back down, and just once more, just placing the forehead on the hands and rocking those hips side to side just a couple times. And then taking the hands, placing them right under the shoulders And we're going to inhale and go all the way up to cobra. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And exhale, come down. We'll do one more cobra. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale down. And then inhale into tabletop. Curl the toes under. And exhale back up to your downward dog. Breathe here. Take 2 or 3 nice long breaths. At the end of the next exhale, rise up onto your tippy toes and just take little baby steps to the front of your mat. And once you're there, take your hands and place them underneath your feet. So bend your knees enough that you can get them under your feet so that your toes go all the way up to your wrist crease. So your knees might be nice and supporting your belly, which is great. And we want to keep sort of those thighs in contact with the belly. As you inhale, let's all dangle our head, let it really just hang here. And then try to straighten the legs a little bit more as you exhale. Keep pushing your toes down into your hands. But try and keep your belly in contact with your thighs, just to support the low back. And get a hamstring stretch at the same time. One more breath here. And after the next exhale, release your hands one at a time. And then take your hands to your shins and inhale to a halfway lift. Nice straight spine, crown of the head points forward. Exhale, back to your forward fold. And as you inhale, slowly coming up, one vertebrae at a time. And then come to stand at the front of your mat. We'll find our Tadasana here. So rock back and forth from the front to the back of your foot a couple of times until you find nice equal weight from the front to the back of the foot. And then just find that side to side movement in your feet so that you can also find equal weight from the outside edge of your foot to your big toe mound. Maybe draw your inner arches up a little bit to assist with that. And see if you can pick up all 10 toes and place them down on the ground, spreading them nice and wide, one at a time. And then ground through that position in your feet. Soften your ankles and your knees. Engage the muscles of your thighs and your butt cheeks so you can draw your belly button towards your spine and allow your spine to grow tall as the crown of your head reaches towards the sky. Draw your shoulder blades together and down towards opposite hips, turning the palms out to face the front. And relax the shoulders away from the ears and feel energy travel through the arms, down through the fingertips towards the earth. Take a nice long deep breath here in your Tadasana. On your next inhale, take your arms to the sky. Right hand grabs the left wrist and exhale, bending over to the right, finding a nice stretch through that left side body. Inhale, coming all the way back up, changing hands, and exhale, going the other way. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Exhale, hands to the side. Inhale, sweep the arms to the sky. Exhale, swan dive to the earth, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to a forward fold. Place the hands on the mat and then step both feet back to your plank position. Inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the mat. Inhale to cobra. Curl the toes under. Exhale to downward dog. Pause here for a few breaths. Inhale, lift the right foot to the sky. Exhale, step that right foot forward between your hands into a lunge. Shine your chest forward. Keep that front knee stacked over the front ankle. Go ahead and drop the back knee. And you're going to walk your hands around to the left so that you're on your left knee and you can straighten your right leg out to the side and come up to sort of this gate position. And then once you're there, inhale, take the left arm to the sky and you're leaning towards that right leg, opening up through the left side. Inhale and coming back, take both arms to a cross. As you exhale, you're going to come down onto your left hand, take your right hand towards the sky, and really open up that right hip up towards the sky. And just like we do in standing, imagine a wall behind you. Place both those shoulder blades, your butt cheeks all up against that imaginary wall. And draw a plumb line from that top wrist to your bottom wrist. And now on your next exhale, you're going to let that right hand come a little bit further over. So now you're drawing a straight line from your fingertips all the way to the outside edge of that back foot. A little bit more side stretch through the right body. On your next inhale, take the hand back to the sky, and then exhale, bring the right hand to your wrist, to your waist, I mean. Stay where you are otherwise. So the left hand's still down on the ground. And we're going to come into our kneeling half moon pose. So you're going to take the right leg off the ground, flex the toes up towards your nose. You should really feel this in the right butt cheek here. And if you want to, you can take that right hand back up to the sky. Keep raising that right foot off the ground as high as you can get it. Breathe here. Exhale, let that right foot down. And then take both hands back to the ground and walk them around. You're going to keep walking, 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 all the way until your hands are framing your right foot back at the front of the mat. And once you're there, curl your back toes under so you can step your right foot back to your downward dog. Just pause here for a few breaths. See how things are feeling. On your next breath in, take your left foot to the sky. And as you exhale, squeeze that knee into the chest and float your left foot forward between your hands. Coming into your lunge on this side. Shine your chest forward, let your hips hang heavy to start. And on your exhale, lower that back knee. We're going to walk the hands around. I hope it's to your right. Basically, you want that right knee bent, and we're going to straighten out that left leg. Left foot flat on the mat, and come up to your kneeling gate position here. If you want to straddle your mat, Marie, you can, so you can still see the camera. All right. And then just rest your left hand gently on that left thigh. Inhale, take the right arm up and all the way over and find a nice stretch through that right side body, going all the way down through the right IT band. And inhale, coming all the way up, taking the hands to a cross. Just like the other side, we're going to tip over, bringing the weight into the right hand. Make sure you've got lots of energy going through the outside edge of that back foot. You're turning that left hip up towards the sky. So you're flattening your back against your imaginary wall. And you drag a plumb line from that top wrist to the bottom wrist. Breathing here. And on your next exhale, just bring that hand a little bit over your head. So now that you're drawing a line from those fingertips all the way down to your heel. Nice kneeling side angle position here. Inhale, take that arm back to the sky, and then exhale, bring it to your waist. We'll come into our kneeling half moon, just like the other side. So all the weight is in our right hand and our right knee. As you take that left foot off the ground, flexing those toes up towards your nose, raising as high as you can, and then maybe taking your left hand to the sky. Still trying to imagine that wall behind you, lifting that foot as high as you can, really getting into those left glutes. Breathe here. Exhale, bring that left foot down, what were we going to do? Take both hands to the ground, walk them all the way around back to that left foot until your hands are framing that left foot and you're facing the front of your mat again. And then curl the back toes under, lift the back knee off the mat, step that left foot back, find yourself back in your downward dog. Breathe here for 3 breaths. At the end of your next breath, step or walk your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to a forward fold. And as you inhale, reverse your swan dive. Take your arms all the way back up to the sky. And exhale, hands to your waist. All right. Now, take a step back we'll do it with the right foot first. And point your toes towards the long edge of your mat. So your feet are much further than hip width apart here. Take your hands to your waist. Inhale and squeeze those elbows behind you so they were to kiss. And exhale, you're going to come into a halfway fold. Inhale here. Nice straight back. And as you exhale, you're going to reach for the ground, or if you need to, you can use a block. And then if your hands make it to the ground, you can start to walk them backwards until your fingertips line up with your toes. And from there, you can keep bending forward by bending the elbows to draw your head a little closer to the ground, just to wherever it is that makes sense for you to go. Once you've found your position, we're just going to hang out here for a few breaths. This is a lovely inversion, letting some blood run into our head, and at the same time, giving a stretch to our back, our thighs, and our inner legs. Inhale, we're going to come to a halfway lift. Exhale, take your hands to your waist. Inhale, come all the way up. And turn your left toes back towards the front of your mat. Keep your right foot pointing towards the long edge of your mat. And just make sure the front heel is pointed towards the arch of the back foot. Bend into that front knee so it stacks over the ankle. And find your warrior two. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe here. Softly gaze out over that front middle finger. Make sure you've got lots of energy running through your back leg, down through into the outside edge of the back foot. On your next inhale, straighten the front leg, turn the left palm up. As you exhale, lean back into your peaceful warrior, back hand resting gently on the back thigh, or else bending the elbow and taking the half bind. Exhale. You're going to come back down into your warrior two, bending back down into that front knee. Breathe here. And then as you exhale, you're going to take your elbow to your knee, or you can use a block behind your left foot. And then once you're there, take your right hand and point it out sideways, out towards the long edge of your mat. Push it out as far as you can, and then pull your shoulder back into the socket like an electrical plug, and then rotate that arm up and over so your biceps are coming up over your ears. And you're finding a side angle. We did this. This is the same thing we did in kneeling. We're just doing it in the full lunge now. So you've got a nice straight line going from those fingertips all the way down to the outer edge of your foot. But you're really pulling that shoulder into its socket. And then inhale, coming all the way back to your warrior two. Inhale again, straighten that front leg. As you exhale, reach out over that front foot as far as you can. And then you're going to tip over into your triangle. So as usual, you can use a block, piece of leg. Maybe you reach the floor. But the goal here is to line that back up on your imaginary wall behind you. Shoulder blades, back, butt cheeks. And you've got a nice straight line going from the top wrist to the bottom wrist. And lots of energy going through the outside edge of your back foot for your triangle, Trikonasana. Inhale, we're going to come all the way back up and turn the feet to face the long edge of the mat once more. All right. This time around, we're going to inhale, keep those hands on the waist, squeeze those elbows together, and as you exhale, it's a halfway lift. Inhale here. Exhale, we're going to take both hands to the ground, but still sort of stay in your halfway lift. So again, if you need to use a block, you can. And you're going to take the left hand to the center of the mat, nose pointed at the back of your left hand. As you inhale, you're going to take the right hand to the sky, look up towards the sky, getting a nice stretch and a twist here. Breathe here. And on your exhale, bringing that right hand down, swapping it out with the left. So the nose is pointing at the back of the right hand now. And inhale, take the left hand to the sky, looking up towards that left hand, getting a nice twist. And probably a bit of a stretch through the right inner thigh. Exhale, bring the hands back to the ground. Inhale, bring your hands to your waist. Exhale here, halfway lift. Inhale, come all the way up. Now I'm going to turn my right foot and put it towards the back of the mat. However, if you cannot see the camera and you just want to switch your feet around, feel free to do that. All right, then once you're there, once again, just like before, make sure the front heel is pointed to the arch of the back foot, bend into that front knee, stacking the knee over the ankle, and gazing out over the front middle finger for your warrior two. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Even maybe squeeze those shoulder blades together and down towards your hips. For your warrior two. Inhale, straighten that front knee, flip the right palm up, and exhale, leaning back into your peaceful warrior. Your choice of hand position once more on the thigh or the half bind behind the back. And then inhale, coming back into your warrior two, bending back into that leg. And on your next exhale, you take elbow to knee or hand to a block behind that right foot. And take your left fingers and point them out towards the long edge of your mat. As far as they can go, draw that shoulder into the socket like an electrical plug and swing the arm around, sucking that shoulder into the socket the whole time. Find that nice angle from your fingertips all the way to the outside edge of that back foot. Imagine that wall behind you. It might mean Just rotating that left armpit up towards the sky a bit more, or the left hip. Breathe here for your side angle. Inhale, coming all the way up. Straight. We'll go to warrior two for just a breath. And then inhale, straighten that front leg. Exhale, reach out over the front foot as far as you can, and then tipping over into your triangle. Again, using a block if you need to. And imagining that wall behind you so that the back, the shoulder blades, the butt cheeks are all pressed up against your imaginary wall. You can turn your eyes up towards your hands or straight ahead or down towards the other hand, just depending on what is comfortable for you and your neck. Make sure you've got lots of energy through that outside edge of the back foot. And you soften your knees enough so that there's no hyperextension happening. Breathe here. Inhale and coming all the way up. And then exhale and turn both feet once again to face the long edge of your mat. And we're going to heel toe or just step your feet in. So, and actually, if you want to turn to face the front of your mat, so your feet are mat width apart. And we're going to just do our half squat to a full squat here. So your toes are pointed in a direction that your knees are going to go as you squat. Let's just take the hands to heart center. Inhale here. And exhale, we're going to come into a wide stance chair pose. So you're sitting in a chair behind you. Try and put some weight into the back of your heels, but press your toes into the earth at the same time. Maybe go a little bit further. Breathe here. And then when you're ready, you're going to start to come all the way down into your squat. Again, your heels can be on or off the ground, depending on you. And you can use a block if you want to as well, if you can come further. But no matter where you get to, see if you can get your elbows on the insides of your knees so that you can really press your knees apart. And just hang out and breathe in your squat. And then when you're ready, you can reach behind you and let yourself all the way down into a seated position. I'm just checking my time. I'm taking my sweet time today. All right, take all that weight into your right hip. So you can take your left foot behind you. We're going to set up for pigeon just from the seated position. So you want that left leg going straight out behind you, not to one side or the other. And you might just need to pick up that left foot to adjust so that your knee is going straight out from your hip on the right side. And you're trying to get that calf as parallel as possible for what works for you to the front of the mat. And you can sit on a cushion or a block as well to raise that, to support your right hip if it doesn't make it to the earth. Breathe here in your king pigeon. And then as you exhale, you're going to walk your hands down towards the ground. Maybe you make it to your elbows. Maybe you use a block to support your head. Maybe your head makes it all the way to the ground. Go wherever it makes sense for you. And then let your breath guide the stretch. Feeling where you feel it. Sometimes it's in the front of the left leg. Sometimes it's in the butt cheek of the right. And then inhale and start to walk those hands back up. You can keep the right leg straight here, or if you prefer, you can, keep it bent, or if you prefer, you can straighten it as you bring that left foot around all the way to the outside of the right knee. Sorry, my cat's in the way. Um, so the right knee is pointed straight ahead to the top edge of your mat, and the left foot is on the outside of that right knee. No matter what position you've chosen, try and get both sit bones as close to the earth as you can, and try and use some activation in your left leg to really push the big toe mound of your left foot down into the ground. And then hug your knee in close to your chest. Once you've did that, inhale, take the left hand to the sky. And as you exhale, backstroke it behind you, look behind. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, twist and turn over and look over that left shoulder. And you can just keep hugging your knee, or you can take the elbow to the outside of your knee, your preference. As long as you keep breathing, and each time you breathe, think about lengthening the spine as you breathe in, and twisting and turning as you breathe out. Exhale and release. Come back straight. Straighten both legs out. And just give those legs a little shake. I think Matthew and Linda are having technology issues. Are y'all okay? Thumbs up? Okay. All right. And then once you're here, both sit bones ground out into the ground. If you need to sit on a cushion, you can. If your back is slouching. Otherwise, lean back. Don't lean back. Just put your hands behind you and sit yourself up nice and straight and tall, straight as you can get with that spine. And then as you inhale, take the arms to the sky. And as you exhale, you're going to lean forward from the hips, letting your hands land wherever they land. So it might be to your toes, it might be to your shins or your ankles. Maybe if you're really flexible, you even reach the outside edges of your feet. No matter where you've gone, think about shining your chest down towards your ankles to keep a little bit of length in that low back. And as you inhale, just think about lengthening through the back a little bit. And as you exhale, folding from the hips. Inhale, we're going to walk the hands back up. And this time you're going to take the right knee to the outside of the right foot to the outside of the left knee and bend the left knee. Or you can keep the left knee straight if you have any knee issues. Either way works. But remember, trying to get both sit bones as close to the ground as possible. And you're pushing now through the big toe mount of your right foot. So that whole right foot is nice and flat on the ground. Hug the knee in with that left arm. Inhale, take the right arm up to the sky. Exhale, backstroke behind you. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, twist and turn, looking over that right shoulder. And you can leave the arm hugging the knee. Or if you prefer, you can take the elbow to the outside of the knee. Each time you inhale, think about lengthening the spine. And as you exhale, twist and turn, looking over that right shoulder. On your next exhale, unravel. You're going to take all the way into the left hip. So you're going to take the right leg all the way around and behind you. And you can adjust the left leg once more so that you're going to try and get that left shin as parallel to the front of the mat as possible. Look behind you. Make sure you've got that right leg all the way behind you. And just like the other side, if you need to use a cushion or something under that left hip to support it, you can. And we'll start in the king pigeon. Just draw that left hip a little bit back if you can. You might just feel a little bit more stretch here. And then when you're ready, as you exhale, walking your hands down to whatever level makes sense for you. Maybe it's elbows, maybe it's further. Bringing your head as close to the mat as you can, maybe stacking your forehead on your hands, maybe using a block under your head, or maybe just letting it hang. Wherever you get to, come into your breath. Let the breath guide the stretch once more. Noticing the effect of your breath in the area of the stretch, be that in the front of the back leg or the butt cheek of your left leg. Inhale, you're going to come all the way up, and we're going to make our way to a lying down position. So you can bring that leg around and go straight to a lying down position. Getting there however you like. And once you're there, just bring your knees into your chest, give them a nice big hug, and then let's just take nice big opposite circles with the knees. Articulate through the hips. We've done quite a few stretches for the inner and outer hips and thighs today. And then go the other direction. And then the next time that your knees are out wide, keep them out wide. Take the flats of your feet, soles of your feet up towards the sky, and grab hold of either the outside edges of your feet or take your peace fingers to your big toes and draw your knees down towards your chest. If you have a cat, you can place her on your stomach and let her knead it at the same time, because that's apparently part of the pose today. If you want to stay in stillness, you can, or if you want to rock side to side gently, you can do that too in your happy baby. And when you're ready to come to stillness again, release the feet, let the big toes come together, and then take the legs long on your mat. And take your feet out to about mat width apart. And take your arms out long and away from the body, palms facing up. Close down the eyes. Take a nice long deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And close the mouth again and come back to your natural breath. Softening your jaw, letting your feet just fall a little further apart than usual. And then allowing the tongue to soften, allowing the lines in your face to smooth themselves out. And the space between your eyebrows at your third eye to just widen a little more. Bring attention to your spine, your hips, and your butt cheeks. So I've done a lot of the work today. And just notice if there's anything that feels fragile or needs to be taken care of in the next couple of days, or if you just feel really good through there. No matter what you're feeling, I want you just to feel where the earth is making contact with your butt cheeks, and just allow everything in your abdominals, your hips, your low back to fully relax and sink down into that contact point, allowing the earth to fully support the weight of your body. And bring attention to your shoulders. And same thing here. We did stretches and strengthening for the shoulders, the shoulder blades. So feel where the shoulder blades make contact with the earth. And allow the front of your chest and your shoulders to sink towards the earth. Allow everything to let go in the shoulder girdle area, and the earth to fully support the weight of your upper torso, your shoulders, your chest, your arms, and fully relax. Nothing to do here for the next minute or so, but to relax. And then when you're ready, take a nice long deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, let it all out in a big sigh. And then start to turn the head one direction and the other. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Make some circles with the ankles and the wrists. Take a big stretch up overhead, stretching all the way from your fingertips down to your toes. And then bringing the knees into the chest for one last hug. And turning to roll onto your preferred side, using your lower arm to pillow your head. Stay there for a couple of nourishing breaths. And when you're ready, go ahead and turn and bring yourself up to a seated position. Hands at heart center. Keeping the gaze low. And then just take a moment to thank yourself for sticking with it. I think this is our 6th week of yoga online, and taking care of yourself through this time of COVID-19, taking care of your mind and your body. I thank you all for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. The cat was part of Shavasana today. Hopefully her purring didn't disturb you.
Not at all. It was another great session. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Marie.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Christina. That was really good.
Good.